Welcome in to the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview, proudly presented by Arkansas Tech University, D3 Auto Sales, and by Metcalf Trucking Company. Today we sit down with CAC Mustangs head coach J.D. Plumlee.
I'm here with J.D. Plumlee, the first-year head coach here at Central Arkansas Christian. Coach, you moved here from Malvern just this year. Tell me about that move and why you decided that CAC was going to be your next stop as head coach.
Well, you just never know in the coaching world where you're going to land and where the wind's going to blow you. And Malvern was a special place to my family. It's where my kids started school there when they were. My daughter would have been in kindergarten, my son was in third grade, and so that's all they know. They grew up in Malvern, and we were there for 5 years, and we were able to take a program that was a little bit struggling a little bit at a low point and build it, and very, very honored and blessed to be a part of that, to get it back on top. We were able to win the state championship in 2022, and it wasn't just me, it was the players, this community, the great administration, and just everybody. It takes a whole, community to do something special like that. And then God had a plan for me and my family, and Coach Hayden Cruz and Dr. Andy Stewart reached out to me from CAC, and we met and talked and prayed about it, and really just felt God was leaning toward us to make this move. And so we, in February, my son and I came on over. And my wife and daughter, she's a teacher, and they stayed in Malvern and finished the semester. So this week actually is the first week that we've all been under the same house, and they're kind of getting back to a little bit of normalcy with our family life. And so we're excited about it. You never know what the future's going to bring. But one thing you got to be able to do is just got to be able to trust God and just know that no matter where He takes you, He's got you. And He's got a plan, and it may not be your plan. So you just got to kind of sit back and say, what's next, God? And so here we are.
So you had a lot of success at Malvern. You kind of talked before we started here that you won a state title there. And so tell me about how you intend to bring that winning culture here to this program, and what you guys do on a day-to-day basis to try to get to that point where you guys are consistently winning games.
I think a lot of it's just I'm a relationship-based coach, and I think these young men have already seen that I'm not just a football coach. I want us to be successful in baseball and track and basketball. They just won a state championship here in basketball. Coach Matt Hall is a close friend of mine, and I couldn't be more excited for him. He worked his tail off and finally got him on. And then baseball, just played the state championship game and got beat. But we want to be successful in everything. And so how do you do that? You take it day by day. And you want to be successful in the classroom, your walk with Christ, your relationship with your parents, your relationship with your friends, what you do in the community to help your school and help this your church community, and then just it all bleeds into everything you do. The old thing, when you wake up every day, make your bed. And that's how we try to attack it. At Malvern, we were blessed with really good athletes, but we had a strong culture there that we played for each other. There was a brotherhood that we weren't going to let the man next to us down, and we're going to get that going here again. Here at CAC, I thought Coach Shoemaker did a really good job here with the culture, and we're going to try to take what he did and really build on top of it, and to see where this thing goes. And we really preach that the scoreboard is not going to define us. We're not going to hang our hat on wins and losses. We're going to develop young men into being great men of society and better husbands and better fathers. And that's what it's about. And so I want my guys, when they're 40, 50 years old and they have a family, to look back and say, maybe that old coach taught me something one day. And because the scoreboard is going to be turned off at some point, and we're not going to be able to play this game anymore, and we're going to have many years to live without that. And we're going to build our culture around that. We're going to honor God in everything that we do, and just see where it goes. And we're going to work hard. I'm a competitor, and we're going to get after it in the weight room, and we're going to get after it in any drill. That's just the competitiveness about you. So if you're going to play anything, whether it's checkers or chess or tennis or golf or badminton in the backyard, whatever it is, we're going to get after you. And it's baby steps, and we're going to start that in the Pee Wee football program all the way up, and we've had a great turnout so far this week, and we're super excited about the summer.
So you kind of talked about a little bit about you are really wanting to help these guys kind of grow into being better young men. What do you want the identity of this team to be, both on and off the field?
I want when someone doesn't know anything about CHC and they see us play, or they see a short news clip about us, I want them to see what type of character our young men have. How hard we play, no matter what the situation is, no matter if we're down 42 or we're up 42, how hard we play every snap, and then how good of a teammate we are. How we walk the talk, and how we honor God in everything that we do. And that's with, if we knock someone down, we help them up. If we get knocked down, we're going to get back up, and we're just not going to be emotionally attached to the current situation, and have the big picture in mind, and look back. And I think that's in everything that you do in life. Because I tell the guys all the time, when you wake up, you might be able to count on one hand how many good days you have in a month. And you're going to have to be able to focus and achieve things when you're not feeling good, or when your car's broke down, or when something's broke at the house, or your marriage is rocky, or something's going on. You're going to have to focus and continue to live life and work through the struggles, and fight through stuff, fight through adversity. That's what life is right now. Is how can we navigate and fight through adversity and not let it get us down? And so I think by doing that, you just attack everything full speed, and we're not always going to feel good. So how hard can we play when we don't feel good?
So kind of want to talk about your roster a little bit. Obviously, you guys kind of had a blow into your roster when Grayson left and went to Conway High School. Tell me about, obviously one player doesn't make a team, but you still have a lot of really talented players on this team. Last year, offense was really explosive. So tell me about this roster, some guys that you're going to kind of lean on to be leaders or main contributors, and some guys maybe that you think are going to have a good season who maybe didn't, weren't in the spotlight last year.
I think we losing Grayson was huge, but we wish him nothing but the best of luck. And next man up, Connor Taylor is a young man that has taken that role since he's left, and he's going to create a name for himself. He's just going to be a sophomore, and he already kind of put a name out there for himself in baseball this year on the bump, and so we're looking excited for him to really have a good summer, really good fall for us, and continue to grow on that. Renelson Silva, the running back, he's back. He's a 1,000-yard rusher. He'll turn over and play some defense for us as well. He's going to be a senior, so we look for him to be a strong leader vocally in that locker room. And you've got Cooper Banks that's going to be another senior that's going to really step up. It's gotten a lot of varsity snaps under his belt. He'll help us in our fullback position, and then at defensive end, you've got Zane Tafoya that's going to be a senior. He's another O-line, D-line guy that's played a ton of snaps. And so we have, even though we've lost some guys, we have a lot of young guys that have played a bunch of Friday night football snaps. Gus McConnell's another one that's played a ton that's going to step up. He'll be a senior. Landon Allen's going to step in and do great things for us, outside linebacker, and turn around and be a fullback for us. We've got Hudson Ritchie he got kind of overshadowed last year with all the other pieces around him, but he's a guy now that he's a 4.4 speed that can run by anybody, and so he's going to have to be a playmaker for us, on both sides of the football. And we've got Jason Hunt that didn't play last year. He's coming back out. He's extremely fast. He's got really good hands, and so we think he's going to have a big year for us. And you've got the whole offensive line's back, and so coming off a great season like they had last year, we look for that unit up front to really kind of be the stable for us. The common denominator that we know what we're going to get out of those guys, and that's where it starts. I mean, if you want to win the big one, you're going to win it on the line of scrimmage. And so we're really going to hang our hat up there up front, and we're going to have a lot of young guys. You know, a lot of guys that may be a junior or senior that have not had a lot of snaps in the past are going to step up and play a lot. And that's exciting for those guys. They put in their time and they've worked hard, and so here it is. You know, and Lord willing, they stay healthy and they get to go out and show this community and show our conference what these guys can do that have kind of been overshadowed. But now, you know, next man up mentality, they get to come in and they've had a great last month and a half. And, you know, we start our summer competing next week, next Wednesday in Fayetteville at the 707. So I know the guys are excited. We're excited to kind of get out there and see us compete against another helmet.
So you mentioned that the basketball program here just won a state championship. How do you think that, you know, having some talented guys on that team, that probably some overlap between basketball and football and baseball and things like that, how do you think that those guys playing other sports and getting some experience playing in big games like that can help your football team?
Oh, it's everything. You know, experience is everything. It goes from, you know, I like to say this, I'm a huge baseball guy, and I like to say that the more you can go see really good pitching as a hitter, it'll make you a better hitter, right? So if you can go see a velo and a guy that can spot you up, you're going to be a better hitter. Same thing in basketball. Those guys played at big moments, in big games, and they won the big game. And so I think the more times you can put yourself in those moments, the next time you're in that moment, you can calm down and breathe a little bit, relax. And so it is huge. You know, here, one thing that's so awesome about CAC is that over 85% of our athletes play multiple sports. And that's humongous. And I love that. Because I have kids of my own that play multiple sports. And I hate how some of our student athletes in Arkansas right now are getting pressure to quit and only go one sport. You know, that's not the way it needs to be in high school. If you're an athlete, you need to play everything. And so we here at CAC with Coach Hall, myself, Coach Knight, you know, I'm going to be assistant baseball coach as well. But even the female coaches here, we all are on the same team and understand that we need to share athletes. And so, like you said, when they're in the big moment of basketball, it carries over to football. But when you've been in the big moment of baseball, it carries over to football. You know, it carries over. And so we have a lot of guys that played on the state championship basketball team right here that will be starting for us in football. And guess what? The same guys that started will start in baseball too. And so the more you can put yourself in those situations, the better. And so I'm excited because you get to see a lot of the same guys and same girls competing on all three and sometimes four sports, you know, and that's exciting because that's what true community and a family looks like. So you all go in there and you all do it together, and so it's been very rewarding and very neat to see this unfold.
So here in Central Arkansas, there's a lot of really competitive football teams. You have Conway High School, they have Buck James now, he's won a lot of state titles. You have Pulaski Academy with Anthony Lucas. They've been at the top of their game. You have Little Rock Christian. They just had a quarterback that played at Auburn.
Yes.
What is the pressure like to be one of those teams in Central Arkansas that everybody looks at? And do you guys expect to be one of those teams that kind of sets the bar for, you know, football in this state, football in this community, football, you know, maybe all over the country, like some teams like Bryant, Pulaski Academy, places like that?
You know, you always that's your goal, right? Your goal is to you work hard and try to find a way to get to the top. And the schools you mentioned, you know, Buck James, Hall of Famer, Anthony Lucas, Hall of Famer. You know, those are guys that you look up to in this profession. You know, I've been blessed to be a part of two state championships. You know, 2016 at Russellville High School, and then in 2022. And I know what winning looks like. Doesn't mean you can replicate it every year. Because here at CAC, we're going to win and strive to win, but we're going to do it the CAC way. You know, we're going to do it right, and make sure that we don't put winning in front of everything else. And so we're going to build it from the ground up. You know, and that is our goal. Our goal is to be, you know, a powerhouse in this area. There's an unbelievable administration here. It starts from the top with our board, and then through Dr. Stewart, all the way down through our principals and coaches and everybody. I'm just blessed to be a part of it. And so that is our goal. And we're going to continue to meet as a staff about it, continue to meet as a community about it. And I'm excited about where this is going to go, you know, in the coming future. because it is bright here. We've got some really good young classes coming. And like I said earlier, it's not just football, right? We don't want to be known just for CAC football. We want to be known for CAC athletics. And what does that mean? That means a young man or young lady can come here and thrive in all that they want to do. You know, if they want to be a cheer, they want to be a volleyball player, they want to be a track star, and then they want to turn, the males, they want to turn around and do football, basketball, baseball, and run track. We're going to make that happen. And we want athletes to come be athletes. And so I'm excited about that, the vision that Dr. Stewart and the administration has set out here. Hayden Cruz, our athletic director, does an unbelievable job. So that is our main focus, And so it's just so rewarding to be able to come in, and we have all these coaches on staff that coach everything, and seeing the amount of participants that come in. Fast things is going on right now. We have there's over 200 of our athletes going through it right now every morning, and this has been really fun. And like I said, this is just I know it's just really the second week of June, but we're fired up, and it's not going to be done overnight. It's going to take a little bit to go, but that is what we're building toward, and we do want to be known. We have a beautiful campus, and there's a lot of changes going on right now. If you drive back to the baseball, softball area, get that redone, and it's going to be a beautiful ballpark here in about 8 to 9 months, and so you see the upgrades with the school board from the interstate and things like that. So we've got the right people in place, and we've got the plan in place, and now we just got to see it unfold.
Tell me about your offense, what you guys are going to do as far as your scheme, your X's and O's, things like that. Obviously this is a team that had a lot of success offensively a year ago, and that translated to some wins. They had a top seed in the playoffs and things like that. So tell me about what you guys are going to try to do scheme-wise to get this, kind of back to where it was a year ago offensively.
A lot of those young men that contribute to that offensively are gone. So, I've never really hung my hat on we're going to just be this or it's going to be that. We're going to do what our kids can do best to try to get first downs and score touchdowns, right? We're going to be spread. And, I say this all the time, what does that mean now? We're going to spread you out, and then we're going to find the holes in the defense and score it. Coach Lance Parker is the OC that I brought with me. He's been with me for a long time. We worked together in 16, took a little break, went our separate ways, and I brought him back when I was at Malvern. So we know each other really, really well. I trust him 100%. He's going to handle that piece, but we'll be spread. Defensively, we're going to flip over and be a 3-4. So that's a big change. They were an even front last year. We're going to go to an odd front. And like I said, just do what our kids can do. I don't like to be able to try to take a round peg and put it in a square hole. And we're still evaluating kind of what we've got and what it looks like. But like I mentioned earlier, those 5 guys up front and back, and they played a lot of football. And so we feel like we're going to be able to kind of handle the line of scrimmage and be able to do some things up front. So we're excited about that unit. Now we got to kind of really start to continue to evaluate our skill guys, on what route can this young man run and be successful. Then with Connor Taylor, our new quarterback, what's he comfortable throwing? So I think by the end of the year, you're going to look back and look through all the stats. I think we'll be 50-50. I think we'll be a balanced football team of, run to pass. But like anything else, one injury here, one injury there, that changes the landscape of that. Because I go back to, my time at Malvern when Cedric Simmons went down, my stud quarterback, and Jalen Dupree was just a sophomore. And we come in and said, Jalen, we're going to have to start direct snapping to you and try to find out like that, or find first downs that way. And that very next week at box out, he rushed us for over 360 yards, and kind of the next morning you wake up and everybody's like, who's this Jalen Dupree? And the rest is history, And so we get creative, but we don't try to overthink it. Football is about moving the football, getting first downs, and putting drives together and scoring touchdowns. And so we're going to do whatever it takes and have a menu and teach our kids the why we're doing it and then how to do it and to execute the first downs.
So tell me about your schedule this year. Tell me about some of the non-conference games that you guys have scheduled, and then Obviously, there was a lot of conference realignment just throughout the state. So tell me about your conference this year and maybe some games in the conference you're looking forward to. Obviously, this is a team that was the one seed in the playoffs when their conference last year. So tell me about your conference this year, and then of course the non-conference game and why they're scheduled the way they are.
Yeah, so I adopted the schedule. So the schedule was made, prior to me being hired. So our non-conference schedule is pretty tough. We start off at the WIT. The WIT, they've got just about everybody back. They're really big up front, a really good running back coming back. They were a touchdown away from beating Ashdown in the second round. So at their place will be tough early. Then we have Stuttgart. Coach Price does an unbelievable job there. His son's the quarterback. So, the coach's kid's always a lot tougher to beat because he's been around it. Coach Price has done a good job everywhere he's been. And then we have Hardin Academy, coming here. It's the third non-conference game. So they've got Owen Miller back. And, he's played, seems like 5 million snaps in high school football. And, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the state, hands down. I've played him twice and watched him a bunch. And he's just really fun to watch. He's let me back up. He's not fun to coach against, but he's fun to watch when you're not coaching against him. He's just a phenomenal kid and a great player. And so that's a tough 3 to start the season, ain't no doubt. But I like it because I think when you get done with your non-conference schedule, you're going to be able to sit back and say, okay, where are we weak at, and where are we excelling at? It kind of teaches you what you need to get ready for conference. And our conference has changed a lot. You're right. There's a lot of teams that I haven't ever faced, which is going to be fun. And then within that, just this year, I believe 4 or 5 new coaches are at the schools that are in our conference. So Heber Springs is always going to have tough physical kids. Forest City is going to be super athletic, and they've got a whole new staff there. And so our conference is going to be. I don't think our conference is going to be as weak as what some people thought. There's some really good coaches, and I'm excited to kind of get in the middle of it and see where it's going to fall. I think it's there's going to be some games that are going to come down to 1-score games, a turnover here and there, and that's what it should be. And that's what I've been used to the last 5 years of the 7-4A South. Is that one turnover can be the difference in you being the 1 seed or not getting in. And that's fun football because you're only guaranteed 10. And these kids work year-round for those 10, and so you want them to be competitive. And I think it's just fun to gear up and be a lot of excitement around here. Home field matters, right? So when you have these home games here at the Mountain, that's going to be important for us to knock those off and get those W's. But Coach Cruz and I were talking this morning about how much change is within the conference, even though we're going into a new conference for the next 2 years. How many new coaches at those schools? So I'm hoping to get out there this summer and meet them and kind of get that going because at the end of the day we want our conference to thrive in the playoffs, right? Because you want to be able to say you come from a good conference. So we're kind of, even though we're competing against each other in the season, come postseason and everything outside of that, we've got to be on the same page and represent our conference. So I'm excited about it. Like I said, that's got to be our schedule the next 2 years. So, like I said, we can't shy away from those first 3 games for sure. So we've got to be ready to roll come 1st of August. We've got to be ready to step in and be ready to play with the big boys.
So you kind of talked about how it's going to be a gauntlet there in the non-conference, just trying to get through that. You said once you're done with that, you're going to kind of assess your team through your strengths and weaknesses and things like that. So where are some places right now where you think that your team is really strong, where you guys are excel just kind of naturally? Where are some places that you think you guys might have to work a little bit harder in the off-season to get those things fixed?
Yeah, I think our guys up front, our offensive line coming back, a lot of them have been playing for 2 years now. I think offensive line, and then a lot of those guys will turn around and play defensive line. So I think our experience is up front. I think what we're assessing all summer long, and even after those first couple of games, right, is where is our production going to come from offensively, and then who are our tacklers and kind of like have a knack for the football and defense. And you can get some of that through 7-on-7 through team camps, but you also got to worry about if this player gets hurt, how does it affect the other side of the ball, or how does it affect this? So we're meeting every day as a staff about, depth and what happens if this. So I'm a big believer that you want to make sure that everything you do is bulletproof, and so you don't want to build your offense around just one player. Because if that one player goes down, you don't want to say, well, we got to come in and revamp everything we're doing. So we spend a lot of time in our practices with plan B, C, and D. And so what that means is very rarely do you get to play a football season in plan A. That doesn't usually, it hadn't happened for me yet. Plan A is everybody's healthy, no one gets hurt, and you just go play 12, 13, 14 games, and there's no adversity, right? That usually doesn't happen in football because it's a physical game. So we spend, just like this morning when we were doing football drills, we spent in plan B. And so it was a lot of, this young man is out of the game, he can't go, he's done for the year. What does our offense look like? And so when you can build your stuff that way and then start building a menu of if player A is a quarterback, then we can do these certain things, but if player B has to go to quarterback, does it still look the same? If that makes sense. So we spend a lot of time in B, C, and D. And so we try to work that in team camp this summer. We try to work that in 7-on-7. And even the first 3 games of the season, the non-conference games, we might go into it scripting that, hey, we want to spend some series in plan B. And then we may want to go out and start the second half in plan C and just get it on film and get those kids used to that. So if it happens, they've taken snaps there, if that makes sense. They have experience calling the cadence, taking the snap, or they have experience, at linebacker setting the strength, getting the defense lined up, or they have the same thing at safety. So wherever that plan C or D would be for that young man, trying to get them in those positions. And so that's kind of how we build our practice plans. Obviously, we're going to spend some time in plan A, but like I said earlier, it just hadn't happened for me. Every year that I've been a head coach, one of our main starters has gone down, whether it be an offensive guy or defensive guy. It's a key contributor, and so you have to be able to work the poses around that. And I think that's what's fun about coaching, is being able to win games in a different way that you anticipate doing that.
So, last question for you. Obviously, this is your first year, so the expectation might be a little bit different than if you've been here for 5, 10 years or whatever. Tell me what you would have to do and your team would have to do this season for you to be able to walk away and say, that met my expectation.
Yeah, I think the expectations, if you're a coach and you're a competitor, your expectations are always to win. You hate losing, right? But my expectation for us this year is to compete every snap. To go out and compete every single snap, not looking at the scoreboard, not worrying about what the end result is. But like I talked to you earlier about building a culture, about how hard we play. What does our character look like? Are we honoring God? Are we doing all that with our actions on the field? And if we can check those boxes after the season, we've had success. And along that, if those key components align, when you get done at the end of the year, you're going to win games. Because it's like anything else. When you have things prioritized and things line up, and you have everything in line, success will breed itself. And so that's kind of where we think that our expectations are, is to get our guys to believe in each other, believe in what we're doing, fight for each other, really have that true brotherhood. And when you do all that, things will take care of itself. But we expect to win. We expect to get in the playoffs, and we expect to make a little run. That is the expectations. So our guys know that. We talked about it just last week. So our guys, we've had a 100% attendance these first 2 days. I know it's just the second day of summer, but even last week when we had voluntary workouts, we probably had 95% attendance. So these young men are here, they're hungry, and they look forward to the challenge.
All right, this has been an interview with Coach J.D. Plumlee here at Central Arkansas Christian. Coach, is there anything you want to say about your program before we sign off here?
No, I just want to say that I want to thank the CAC community and admin and Dr. Stewart for allowing me to have this opportunity with my family, and look forward to being here and helping these young men achieve their goals and being a part of this family.
All right, I'm Carson Ward with Arkansas Sports Network. You can find Arkansas Sports Network on Facebook and YouTube.
Thanks again for joining us on the Arkansas Sports Network's Hometown Sports Football Preview. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Arkansas Sports Network on YouTube to catch more previews and all the latest updates on your favorite teams.